Let's get into it. Let's get into it real smooth, like a smooth operator. You know what I'm saying? Welcome out, y'all. This is Black Power Media, and this is the Remix Morning Show. Yeah. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor in case you didn't know, and it is November Scorpio season. Yes, it is. But I didn't come by myself, and I can't do this by myself. I need y'all remixes, and I need our hosts. First, we're going to start off with no other than Lucretia Williams. And Dr. Jared Barr.
What's up, good people?
What's up? Wow.
Now, do you know that my oldest, like 2 days ago, I heard her playing Sade Unsolicited. And let me tell you, if I didn't.
Oh.
Nice.
I just said,
Nice.
I heard Sade playing, and I said, what?
You did that.
Exactly. And I was like, I did that. That's me.
Nice.
Oh.
Yes. Hey, speaking of Sade, as y'all can see, the shirt I got for my birthday here.
Oh, word.
Oh,
Got-
nice.
Got the
Nice.
fresh Sade shirt. And actually, if you want to get one, you can go check out my people on Instagram, the Mother Hustler. She does some very dope shirts. She hooked me up. And you know, I always wear custom stuff. So, but the thing is, y'all can wear this too. But you won't have this on the back.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
Ear Doctor custom job. That's fly. That is fly right there.
Thank you very much, Frank. So,
Nice. Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
all right. Yeah, well done. How you feeling, Miss Williams, Miss Deep Black Cosmos?
Yeah, I had a bit of a weekend. I was supposed to preach Sunday, and can I tell you that the power went out immediately after the tech rehearsal? Was it just my house? No, it was the entire street. So, yeah, that
So
was a mess.
What was your
So
sermon
wait a
gonna be
minute.
on? Oh, go ahead.
Well, a similar question though. So because I have advocated that we need a revolutionary church experience for radicals. Why can't we get a Sunday morning sermon on BPM? I'd be interested in hearing that. I would
I
show up
mean-
for that.
I don't know. Yeah. Are people into that? What do you think, remixers? Peace, y'all. Yeah, I think that would be cool.
I like it.
Now, again, I think it would be slightly different than the actual plan I was advocating, given that I was advocating one that not be centered on the actual religions, but one that had this experience of. But notwithstanding, I think given your approach and your involvement with the platform and your skill set and capabilities, I think we should. I personally.
That's true. Y'all will be real upset.
Look, but isn't there friendly competition among preachers? Doesn't that exist?
It does. It does. That's funny.
So let's get it popping. And don't we have sometimes even multiple sermons from multiple preachers, even in one church in one morning?
Right.
Don't they sometimes do
just
that?
little reflections from people, folks from the audience. Yeah.
So bring us into your world. What was your sermon going to be about? And give us a little bit.
Well, I did it anyway, and it was on Zoom still, but there was literally like no power. My phone was at 17%, so I only had audio, but folks were still moved, so I'm pleased. But I was talking about what stories leave out for our people. So, leaving out the internationalism and the armed struggle of people like Nelson Mandela, and what does this do for our imaginations of what's possible for freedom. So that was what my sermon was about.
What?
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
Hallelujah.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on. Come on with that.
When they
Yeah.
say hallelujah, pass the ammunition, what is that
Yeah.
praise? What is
Ashe,
it, brother?
ashe,
Ashe,
Like,
ashe.
I mean, I'm already ready to turn the tables over. Let's go, preacher,
Ashe.
pass the mic.
Flip it.
Let's go.
I'm serious. I think we should start working around your schedule and
I like it. I like it a lot.
Thank
a lot.
you.
I don't believe Sunday morning. I think the first thing that happens on Sunday is Sundays.
I like that. Someone said in the chat, BPM Hush Harbor. Yeah. I was actually preaching to Black Lives of Unitarian Universalism, so that congregation. Yeah.
Okay.
Black Power Ministry. Let's
Love
go.
that.
I mean, because you know Dr. Jared Ball and Kamal need you. Need you.
Listen.
They need you like white
Oh,
people need
wow.
this guy.
Come on. Not even a brown Jesus. Oh, no.
All right, my bad. My bad.
Yes.
That's great.
Let's get it. I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Cause
I definitely need saving.
I went to a church called Sankofa Church down here. It was pretty good. You know, they stuck to talk about liberation and stuff like that. And I was like, all right, using the scriptures to talk about different things and liberation. I was like, okay, I like this. So yeah, I could see it. Pass the plate.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I see another comment. Yeah. Can we expand beyond Christianity? Yeah. So, a lot of my readings were, if I can grab it, were actually from this book I've been reading called Black and Buddhist.
Oh, let's see this. Go down again.
Black
Black
and
and
Buddhist.
Buddhist. All
Oh,
right.
wow.
Yeah. So
That would be
absolutely.
dope.
And Unitarian Universalism is accepting of all denominations, all faith expressions.
You could have Jared's brother on there. You got Minister Service.
Yo.
So many different
Yeah.
people you can interview.
Yeah.
I'm not even playing. My brother is a monster on the
Love
mic.
it.
And I'm so I'm all with it. Like we could have, and then we get Diallo to come and give the atheist sermon. Like I'm for all of this. Like I think we should just, I'm not even playing.
And I
I'm
could
down
read
with
out of
hearing
the-
from.
I could read out
Go
the
ahead.
book of Nakapandas. I'm telling you, it would be dope.
Yes.
Naka
Everybody.
Pandas.
I'm
Naka
telling you,
Ponders.
the
Oh,
things that
boy.
go on in here, woo,
Oh,
it need to be
boy.
written down. I'm telling you, it need to be written
Oh
down.
boy. Oh boy.
I could tell you, I could start off with my story of how men even made it to the planet. It was women first. I'm just gonna start off with that. It was women first. I mean, think
What
about it,
music
guys.
would you pick? Because you're supposed to pick your own music for I mean, you work with the team, but what would you pick?
Oh man, I would pick some. I would need a heavenly voice. I would need a heavenly voice. I would start off with some Donny Hathaway. Yeah, definitely some Donny. I'll give him some Donny.
Now, what's my man with the choir, that soulful choir? Nobody knows.
Oh, nobody knows.
The trouble I sing. That joint. Get that. What was that again? Pastor something. I got it somewhere.
There's so many. Oh man.
My brother is Jamil Muhammad, who, if I'm not mistaken, is that's it right there.
That's
it.
it right there,
Dude, that
boy.
is crazy.
That right there is Pastor T.L. Barrett and the youth
Yeah.
choir.
That joint, that whole, I got one of the whole album. Yeah, brother Jamil in the chat is
Peace.
and he is, if I'm not mistaken, I'm happy to be corrected on this, but I believe he is the last officially named national spokesman for the Nation of Islam and one of only 7 to have ever held that position. I think I'm right about that. But, and I'm trying to tell you, all biases aside, he is nasty. So like, I mean, it's yeah, I'm all with it.
Yeah.
I got a sermon on why do men have nipples.
Yes. Okay.
Oh boy.
I didn't mean to laugh at you. I'm just like, okay, all right.
I mean, it was because the women was first. And then it's like, you know what? They was made. And then it was like, all right, well, men still need to be made so we can have more of an offspring. That's the only reason men was made, for physical labor and to make more women and some guys too to help do more labor. But yeah, I digress. But
I don't know.
it'll be a good sermon, I'm telling you.
Well, it'd be a nice Sunday morning, I think.
I think so. I think so. I mean, why else do guys got nipples?
Bye. You're done.
All right, all right, all right. I guess with that,
People saying just spin. Slap the map.
wait a minute. They going LeBron James me talk about just dribble the ball. Get out of here. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a quick break right here on the Remix Morning. Let me get this right. Show. Top. What's good, everybody? What's good, everybody? Welcome out once again. This is the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. And yes, please go ahead, if you are new to the show, hit that subscribe button. If you know about this show and you've been here, and if you haven't, hit that like button and share it. Let somebody else know about it. You know what I'm saying? Act like this is a big party and let them know they need to be here. All right, also go to patreon.com. We got some content over here that we don't got over there. Become a member and you'll see it. All right, with that said, let's get to the weather. You know, it's I don't know what it is right now. I don't know if it's fall, I don't know if it's winter. It depends on what part of the country you are. Let's first start off at ATL. They got a high today of 65 degrees. 65 degrees. I don't know what that is. Next, let's take it to DC. They got a high today of 59 degrees. A little brisk, only six degrees lower. But how about Chicago is hotter than DC right now, 60 degrees. Let's take it over to Denver, Colorado. They got a high today of 68. And next, let's take it to the west coast of Portland. Portland, Oregon, they got a high of 54. It's cold. Go get your coffee or something, or your hot tea or whatever you need. Let's take it to PR, Puerto Rico. Ho! All right, they got a high today of 87 degrees. And last but not least, let's take it to the motherland, no other land. Let's go to Mozambique. I always like that name. I don't meet too many kids named Mozambique. I think some more kids need that name. All right, they got a high today of 85 degrees. Now, that's pretty hot. But I tell you what else is kind of hot, or might not be hot. Your boy, the DOC. Yeah, the DOC. The DOC has just, you remember him. You know, he got a kid with Erykah Badu. He had that song, Getting Funky For You. Did I say that right? Well, one of those songs. You know about DOC. But anyway, he's announced that he's about to get a new album done, and he's going to use artificial intelligence to get it done. He sat down and said how, you know, in 1989, when the car accident came and messed up his voice, he couldn't do no more music. So now Fab Five Freddy was like, yo, man, why don't you go do some AI and get your album done? So he said, you know what? I'm going to try it. So he went ahead and DOC hooked up with this AI company called Suno. So they're going to bring his voice to life and going to do a whole album with AI technology. I don't know. I mean, the one thing is, at least you know he's going to be doing the writing of it. So it will be actually his words. It's just, you know, it'll sound like him now, how he used to sound. With that said, I don't know. Let's talk to the host of Remix Morning Crew and see what they think right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. All right.
I do want to say before we go on, like, I want to echo in the chat the blessings and best wishes to Jackie, who's getting her surgery today. So
yes, big up to
Yep.
Jackie, and happy birthday to Leah Boggs. It's her birthday too, I believe.
Hold on.
Scorpio.
Let me get my. You didn't give me a chance to go around the robin so I could get my my best wishes to Jackie.
Oh
I,
yeah.
I want to let that breathe for a second. Let me
Let
get
it
mine
breathe
in
there.
there. Yeah, let it breathe there, because I want Leah to get her also space to properly wish her happy birthday. So first,
Go ahead.
speedy recovery, Jackie. We'll see you soon. Much love. And then and a quick shout out to Western Science.
Yes, we need
And
that.
then Leah. And then Leah, definitely happy birthday, many more. Thank you for being part of the BPM community.
Who's Western Science?
Now, I'm just saying,
What we have.
just what we have some access to, and at times a need for. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I went right over my head, I guess.
I know.
You're like, I'm not even paying attention right now.
Yeah,
That's fine. It's all good.
because I came back to prove the point that yes, you don't have to go to the doctors when you have a wisdom tooth problem. Like you can see, fully healed and recovered just by doing a little fasting, drinking a little green tea with some cloves in it, and bam, I'm here again. Like
So the
Brando.
tooth is fine and doesn't need to be
Tooth
removed.
is great. It's
Okay,
great.
good.
Don't need to be
I'm
removed.
glad.
You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? When you know your body, you know your body. Your body heals yourself. It's a self-healing mechanism. You just need to give it time to rest. And you
That's
need to give it the
literally
right things.
untrue. But
That
that's
is literally
literally
so not
It's
untrue.
not a self-healing. It's not
It
self-healing.
does. Well, why do you get scabs? Why do you get scabs? Is okay. All right. So what we gonna
So
do
the
now?
wait.
What-
So
what-
the
what-
fact of a scab
Is it self-healing?
is, so that means any and all injuries are able to be self-healed without the influence of outside assistance.
If you feed it right, yes.
Wow. All right.
Feed it right, give it the right
Okay.
nutrients, give it the right herbs that it needs. Yes, that's all you need. That's the same thing doctors do. They just put some other stuff in there to keep you coming back. Anyway,
Well,
I
I
just do
will
not
add-
co-sign that analysis at all.
I
and I
mean-
don't think data or science backs it up.
that's why you're a
But-
literary doctor. You're not a doctor. I'm a doctor. A ear doctor. Enough of me though. And Naka Ponders will be out next year. And y'all can cop that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just
I mean, sometimes you got to get some surgery, but I will say,
Yeah.
I was
and medicine.
and medicine. Yeah, I was a
Who's next?
I was thinking of being pre-med, but I was doing starting with naturopathic medicine, and I did an internship at a naturopathic clinic in Illinois, and she had a chiropractor in the office and two other doctors, and but the problem with a lot of naturopathic medicine is that you can't operate within the full license in many states, so they end up not being able to do like the full scope of things that they're able to do. But it was a cool experience.
And why do you think that they don't allow these in these states? Just like, a lot of things they don't allow of our culture, they don't allow no more.
Because many of them have no health benefits and lead people to slow, painful, and unnecessarily early deaths. That's why. That's why. Not everything. I just don't. Not everything can be swept under the rug of some grand conspiracy. And there is a general context of hostility and conspiracy, and I agree. But we can't just keep putting everything under that rubric and ignore humanity's advancements in certain circles and segments. We can't. Not everything that was understood thousands of years ago was correct and cannot be improved upon.
Okay.
Yeah, I think some of it. I mean, not all of it, definitely, because I think especially when we integrate the Chinese traditional medicine, acupuncture. Usually, naturopathic doctors are doing like a blend of herbal and like acupuncture, acupressure, and also like other things. But yeah, so
Now, that said, I am a vegan. I am very much believer in, to your basic point, that how you feed yourself and what you put in has a major impact. And I've also, for instance, for my back condition, for years engaged in chiropractor and acupuncture and any number of forms of homeopathic methods and non-Western methods. not that the Western methods have helped, but those methods have not worked in this case. So that's all I'm saying. The blanket condemnation, I think, is dangerous. And I do think, all jokes aside, I do think people should be reminded that you're right. Neither of us are medically trained
No, we don't.
in any of these traditions. So I just want to caution everyone to not take mine or anyone else's word on any of these issues.
And even though the FDA is Western, don't believe everything they say neither, because they still got a food pyramid. They got dairy all in it.
I agree. No, again, I'm with you on a lot of that. But the idea that the idea. So, for instance, I am defensive around the idea of the condemnation of regulation. In other words, I think in general it is good to have national standards for what people are allowed to legally call medicine and treatments for maladies, because there is just, as much as people want to condemn Western medicine, there is at least as much of a tradition of fakery in the non-institutional medicinal community of people claiming to be healers and healing and have the healing tonic and the solution, and people are just dying all over the place unnecessarily and in great amounts of pain. So I've even, unfortunately, with family friends, have seen it happen. People who have certain beliefs and this and that, and they just walk away from Western medicine and it's unnecessary. So that's why I'm just saying, that's all.
That said, people, study your body, figure out what works for you, and that'll be that. You know what I mean?
That's not.
It is. I mean, y'all was the main ones talking about getting that pinch back in the day, and I ain't get it, and I'm good. And people that did get it are still catching it. And I'm like,
but
and I've been around them, and I'm not.
But that's misinformation, because again,
that's not.
It is.
That's not misinformation.
What you
that's
just said
truly.
That's
actually
doctor,
what happened.
It's not what happened, because
the fact that I didn't. Wait a minute.
Let me finish. I said you're misleading. What I said is it's misleading information. The information you just outlined is misleading people to a false conclusion, because it is well documented globally that well over 95% of the people who have died from COVID are those without the vaccine. People are not dying from the vaccine. So it's not a matter of who catches it. It's a matter of how severe and who dies from it. And the ones dying are the ones without the vaccine. The data,
I don't find there's some
you
that
won't
did
be
get
able
the
to
vaccine
convince
too.
me.
Let's not leave them out.
But again, I just said over 95% of the people who die are those without the vaccine. So that doesn't mean that anyone with the vaccine won't die. It's just that the numbers are wildly skewed in the other direction. So when you say what you just said, having survived without the vaccine, suggesting that's why you survived, you're misrepresenting the situation. And it's more likely because so many around you did get the vaccine that you are still here, and they weren't maybe made worse by you not getting it.
Well, if I wanted people to do something, I would control the data and let them think a certain way too. I mean, that's the whole thing about believing the corporation that houses this whole
That's not
nation.
that's not how I achieve
But
that's
how
not
I'm
my
looking
method.
at it.
Wait. But check your methodology here, doctor, because that wasn't my method for achieving that conclusion. I didn't just read the government data. So I've spoken to doctors. I've read. Let me finish. I've read. Okay. So to condemn me speaking to doctors, reading medical research, reading data from government and other agencies globally, you're saying that method is flawed, but your method is to just simply disbelieve it all and not get any medicinal treatment.
My method is to read history books and to read certain things that they've done already to our people and realize that they're not going to stop anytime soon. And realize that, you know what? History helps me to move forward, as in the Sankofa bird. I return to my past, look at that, and I'm able to move forward with a cool head.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank y'all for coming out. We about to go ahead and get into our news segment.
My God, that's a terrible methodology.
Always shots on the way out. All right.
Well, then we don't have to go out. Then we can stay here and continue the conversation. That's fine with me too. That's fine. So let's follow that logic.
I mean,
what's your thoughts on this?
Because the history, so then you won't. Where do you? Again, I asked you before. Where do you draw the line? because you will eat food that you get from the same system. You will drink water that you get from the same system. You will, as you've admitted, go to the hospital at certain points if necessary. So where do you draw the line then? Because saying that, yes, there is a history of malpractice and abuse of African people, no question. I don't know how that translates into any and every single thing that comes out that has been shown to be efficacious or beneficial to humanity works against African people. So I don't know where you draw the line on that.
I draw the line when it comes to like, all right, how much money can we make off of this, and can we get people to come in and do things for a pack of beer? Like certain things that make sense, that's where I draw the line. If somebody's trying to give me something and they're tempting me with different things, I don't feel that's for me. Ancestors, just in my spirit, is just like no. So I guess you can't really logically do it with like people that's maybe atheists or don't believe in the spiritual or faith in a certain way, because there's no way to do the logic with it. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's something telling me no, that's not what you should do, and I go with it. It's like that that insight that tells you, all right, no, or yes. So I can't logically put it down for you scientifically, and that's just how I flow. And it's been working so far. I'm in a pretty good place, feel good time in my life. So that's that.
So, but it sounds to me that you're saying your suggestion is that everybody ignore any other method than their intuition.
No, I just said do what feels right to you. I've never condemned anybody doing what they're doing. I always just say
you
do
just
what
condemned
you do
me.
Feels right to you, because I'm like, well, why is it when I do what I do and say what I say that is wrong, but it's right for me?
What I said was, first of all, I've been very, very consistent. I've been saying that what you're saying works for you is not a good method for advice for other people. So I just keep simply trying to add a balance. When you say it worked for me, you do the Joe Rogan thing. Joe Rogan says, I took ivermectin and a whole bunch of other stuff and I'm fine, so therefore it should work for everybody. That's not true. Good. That's what he did, and I'm saying you're doing the same thing. And I'm saying
because everybody had different body chemistry. That's why I said from the beginning, do what works for you, and don't condemn others because they do what they do.
What I'm saying is that methodological approach is flawed, because you are not necessarily the best determinant for what is best for you. You're not the most well-trained or positioned or studied person to know what's in every instance what's best for you. None of us are. So this idea that we shouldn't ever rely on the research and the contributions of anyone else is, as I'm saying, a methodological flaw. And to just this blanket condemnation that is just arbitrarily thrown around as to when we do or do not trust white folks or the government is again, it's methodologically unsound. We do need more nuance. We should be advocating more involvement in investigation, and so on and so forth. And again, people keep advocating that we read, and they make reference, for instance, to Washington's book, Medical Apartheid, and never once consider what she herself has said or encourages as to Black people's continued engagement with the medical community. And I do not recall her in her work or anywhere else saying Black people should never, on any case or any basis, trust the medicinal community. And I'll stop here by saying, does the federal government of the United States also impact reports and research coming out of communities that are in direct conflict with the United States? So, for instance, when Cuba's medical community comes out with a vaccine, what comes out with medical encouragements and et cetera and so forth, are they also to be as equally untrusted as the United States?
Are they still under the umbrella of that medical oath and stuff like that? Like, you have to do certain things and report certain things a certain way?
So I'm asking, so my question for you is, where in your methodology do you reach a studied conclusion or an answer to that question? In other words, where does your my methodology would lead me to an answer for that question. How does your methodology get you to an answer for that question?
What's the question?
You just asked it.
What I asked? This is what happens when you get old.
You just asked if Cuba's medical community could be trusted, because wondering if it is in fact under some oath that you were making a reference to. So
think you have
does your method lead you to an actual answer to that question? That's not speculative.
I think it deals with the doctor. I think it's an individualistic type thing. So if you have a right doctor that might deal with Western medicine, but they might also deal with Eastern medicine, and they've come to realizing what things work, what things don't work, then it might depend on the person you're dealing with, that individual doctor. So I'm not going to throw them all under the same.
But I'm saying Cuba's medical community, Cuba's country, they came up with with a vaccine. Mm-hmm. They have a medical community. They engage in medicine. Mm-hmm. So what I'm asking is, their medical community said, we need a vaccine and we want an other medical blah 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 blah. And I'm asking you,
I feel like it would have to be under certain standards. Like, still has to go through the whole medical board or something. Like, they have to still report certain things to the medical board, so they would have to still
You're
go
saying
a certain
you think
way.
There's a medical board that oversees all countries and there's a national.
I feel like it. Yeah, if I wanted to have a certain substance put out there to the world and I wanted to have a control.
So again, doctor, I'm asking, does your methodology lead you to actual? Wait a minute, though. You're speculating and so I'm asking you, does your methodology lead you to answers to those questions? Do you know what the medical community is, how it's arranged globally, and how it relates to Cuba in this instance, or North Korea? Or
you want the answer? No.
So that's all I've been saying. Your methodology is flawed, and I think it's dangerous. And I think that should be checked when you come in front of potentially thousands of people and say, "Do you?"
But your answer is to do what they say to do. So that
isn't what my answer is.
But I mean, you trust Western medicine.
You're misrepresenting you just said a moment ago that maybe you're not listening.
You trusted it by going in. You trusted it by going and doing what you did, didn't you?
You misrepresented my argument. You didn't listen to me.
I listened, but you did.
It's not some blind trust. As I said, it was the conclusion based on.
I mean, a year of not
a methodological
even getting
process.
A year of not even of be like, oh, let's hurry up and put this together so we can get it out. You trust that? All right.
I didn't say I trusted that, but I did research. Wait a minute. I didn't say I trusted it. I said I did research. So listen to me very carefully.
Okay, I'm listening.
You're trying to play a game and misrepresent what I'm saying so you can score a point when you have been demonstrated to have no clear method to lead you to an actual answer. So let me give you mine.
Go ahead.
What I said is I did research into, as best I could, what the global medical community was saying, what the data was saying, what doctors I happen to know with certain politics were saying, who we've had on this platform. Mm-hmm. I did all of that and then made the conclusion to get the vaccine. And I'm glad we did. We've been wildly healthy through this entire pandemic.
Are you still getting your
and
boosters?
we're part of the 95% of the community who survive COVID when they get it. So I'm good with that. But my point, I'm more good with the method I took. It was not some blind trust. In the same way, it was not some blind and ignorant dismissal. It was a method, and at the end of the day, you're right. I don't know exactly. You have to follow certain methods. So. You have to trust a certain methodology. That's the best I think you can do. And that's why I'm asking you about yours. And I don't think yours is sound. That's all I'm saying.
Because I deal with faith and ancestors.
Right. And I don't think that's sound.
That's cool. That's some people do, some people don't. And what works for them, works for them. And what doesn't. That's all I said from the beginning.
That's just not a sound methodology, though. That's all. And I don't think we should be encouraging
the
that.
majority of the stuff we doing sound?
I mean, by the way, if you look at, have you ever, just real quick though, I would encourage you and others to look at the history of how vaccines are developed and rolled out. So the pace that people were concerned about with this vaccine is not that much different in terms of the process than what other vaccines have gone through, and the overall positive impact outweighs the negative. So, I mean, you could look around the world where people don't get certain vaccines, and you could just see what, unfortunately, intuition and faith and an absence of resources does. It decimates communities. So, I just think we need, again, this is not about blind trust, and nobody is more, I think, critical or distrustful of this state than me. But I think we need more than that, than just claims of that distrust
and we
that
need
are
living
arbitrarily
proof.
selected.
We need living proof, like
Yeah.
group home. I'm your living proof. You got to see what happens.
But that's
when you
not
don't.
proof, though. Again,
But
methodologically, that's not proof.
It is proof. You got to
No,
see
it's
what
not.
happens for somebody who doesn't.
That's
out and
anecdotal.
about and all out
No.
around and.
But that's
and still
anecdotal.
good.
Again, that's not scientific, and that's not proof. That's not how you would prove something. You don't prove something, because then I would
facts.
be able to say the same thing. I got vaccinated, and here I am. Look at me, living proof. That's not proof. It's not proof. And when I say that 95% of the people who die are dying without the vaccine, you
So
say
where are
that's
we
not
getting,
proof.
Where are we getting to? Because we're talking about either what happened to you, what didn't happen to you. I mean, like, where's the end goal? Like,
My end goal in this conversation is to raise concern around methodology, and I think
it worked
people
for
just
me
in general,
not. It worked for me not getting it. That's my end. It worked for you getting it. I mean, where are we trying to?
Again, where we're trying, I'm answering you. Where I'm trying to encourage people is to not determining their conclusions on the anecdotal experiences of one or another person. That is a methodologically flawed approach to anything, and that's my point. That's what I'm trying to get to. And so I'm not offering my anecdotal survival with the vaccine as evidence that the vaccine is good. I would encourage those not to hear you say I didn't get it and I'm good, as to take that as evidence, because that neither of those is proof of anything.
We talking about somebody's daddy in the chat room? Oh man,
I don't know. I'm not looking at the chat.
Don't talk about people's daddy like that. All right. Well, that is what it is. This is our morning chat on Your Thoughts and My Thoughts with Dr. Jared Ball and the Ear Doctor and Lucretia Williams. All right. With that said, let's go ahead and get into the news right here on the Remix Morning Show. Now you see what happens. Why can't we get along, y'all? It's you dumb bro. Ah man, people have different thoughts and stuff, and then get called names.
I do agree that that's not.
That's what happens.
But well, again, I'm not in the chat, but my point would be, if the goal is to build, that's not helpful. I don't agree that name calling is. But I also don't agree that some of your method for these engagements works either. Like, I don't like the little shots you take, the little games you play, the little word games you play, like that people do in these little backs and forth. I don't think that's helpful either, because it's not about focusing on an argument or, again, a method. It's I'm trying to score points and win a verbal, sparring contest, and it's frustrating to me, and I don't think that that's honest, and I don't think it's helpful, and I don't think it's being genuine or respectful to the person you're talking to. But that said, I also don't think anybody should be calling other people out their name either.
Yeah, I come from the world of battle MCs, so I've been doing that for years.
Well, I come from the world of academia, journalism, activism, and just being a good human being. So I don't
you
think
hear that last shot right there.
Well, I mean, that's
he
where
talking
I'm
about
from.
me. He talking about me. But did you see that shot, Lucretia? A good human being.
If that,
wow.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, I just don't think that saying I come from battle rap is an excuse. That's all. I mean,
When you have words and you joust with words, the thing is to win. So yes, it is.
But again, my point is we're not that. That's exactly what my point is. Here, I think our goal should be elevated beyond quote just to win. That's my point. That's why I'm not trying to get into some name calling verbal. What I'm trying to. That's why I keep saying stop misrepresenting my argument and focus on my point about methodology. And stop with the whatevers. That's my whole point. And I'm also in agreement with you that nobody should be calling you or anyone else out their name. That's my whole point.
Good humans. Ouch.
Yeah, because that's what you said where you're coming from. I'm trying to give you my approach to this. That I'm coming from what I think is supposed to be a standard for humanity in this space. Yeah. Well, I think all of us need a hug. My daughters tell me we need 8 a day.
Oh,
We're supposed to get 8 a day.
I love
So,
that.
yeah. And I don't know. Well, now I went in the chat mistakenly. I don't know
Well,
what
there
that's
you
supposed
are
to
now.
mean.
A lot was happening
But
there.
what is? And I've never understood that. If someone is being intentionally offensive, you shouldn't accept that you're being offended. And when people have no sensitivity, isn't that psychopathy? All right. Being open-minded about this is dangerous to Jared's job. I don't know. I don't know what that means either. But thank you
But
for your
thank you for the
super chat support.
$20. Yeah.
Thank you for the $20. So, all right, where would you like? Do you have a story you'd like to start us with? Sister Erica did lace us, and there's plenty, of course, to get to.
I mean, what do you think? Do you want to start with, Palestine or go somewhere else first? I feel like that's a large part of it.
Well, let's do it. Let's if you don't mind, I agree with you, but let's do it because I know I've been inundated with requests to respond to this. That there's a March for Israel rally to feature Deborah Messing, Van Jones, and family of kidnapped Israelis. And so this idea that Van Jones is back to represent the formerly black radical perspective on Israel and Palestine, and then I didn't see it in this one, but the other name that came up was Michael Rappaport is supporting this. So it's got Deborah Messing, Van Jones,
Wow.
Grace Adler from Will and Grace. Former advisor to President Obama. Who is that? Jones? Who is this?
In the movies. Oh, just her movies, I think.
Oh, okay. Dr. Rochelle Ford, president of Dillard University. Anyway, so just to bring him back. Now, my thing was, I've always had an issue with Michael Rappaport. I don't know.
I know nothing about. No,
you don't know. Do you know who? Okay, so he first became famous in I want to say in the 90s for being in a movie called Zebrahead. That was my first introduction to him. This guy.
Okay. Oh, his face looks familiar. Yeah, but I don't know.
He's been in a lot of movies. He plays that working class New Yorker type who seems like he has a lot of black friends. And then a couple years ago, in 2011 to be specific, he did that documentary about A Tribe Called Quest. And I was enraged by it. I was so pissed that
Wait, not to derail you, because this is a documentary about someone that you might be pissed about. Did you see that the Met is doing Malcolm X like as a full got all these black creators and people dancing, and I was like, wait a minute, but I can't support this. I thought of you immediately, Jared. Immediately. Yeah, so that's happening at the Met. Malcolm X at the Met soon. I think it's this month.
After they try to bring me to you. This is the big one.
So continue. I just wanted to put that on your radar.
No, I mean it's more the same thing. It was so it's just Michael Rappaport. It's just and I am, you got to understand also where I grew up out here in Columbia, Maryland, where the white boy playing black was a big just such a big feature, and I recoil whenever I just so when he and then the documentary did so many things wrong. Like I wrote a piece on it at the time. It was, it left out all of the Afrocentric stuff of the 90s and all this beautiful stuff that could have been brought up in a documentary about the native tongues and this, that, and the third. But it became this silly thing that ignored the industry. Like like when they wanted to talk about the breakup of the band, he ignores the industry and the group that gave us industry rule number 4080, record companies are shady. He doesn't even mention that. I mean, it's like, I was just like, this is so bad. So then, and he keeps being brought back into like black space. He's in, Bamboozled with Spike Lee. He's in all these other and he comes with that, like, I'm from New York, so I have an authority. I have a right to be, the white dude with the black friends and to be in his and all of this stuff. It's just so irritating. So then to see him, in addition, now doing the pro-Israeli thing and bring, with his buddy Van Jones and all this other stuff, it's just disturbing. It was just a whole little. So I got a number of folks who were encouraging that Van Jones and Michael Rappaport be specifically targeted, so to speak, for roasting this morning.
Wow.
And unfortunately, I don't know that I'm doing enough of a good job. Like, they deserve more roasting than I'm bringing right now.
I'm sorry I can't contribute. Yeah. Wow.
You're just,
Well,
I think unfortunately you're, with all due respect, too young and too innocent and too decent a person to be this caught up in the madness of these fools, So
I just don't know that. I mean, I figure, yeah, but well, he's not in alone because Gal Gadot, everyone's favorite Israeli, was also showing a film recently, and people put out the location. I think that was last week. In
They
LA.
doxed her?
They were like, hope you show up to protest this location, because she was filming a documentary about, or she was showing a documentary about Israel in support of them in LA
Wonder
and New
Woman.
York. And yeah. Yeah. I mean, she's a perfect spokesperson for a Zionist project, like a tall, beautiful woman who can fight people. Yeah. Yeah. So she's everywhere.
Yeah, people say this about her. I remember, with all due respect to all women here, I have never been attracted to this particular standard. So, for instance, there's a scene years ago when she was sort of introduced to the men folk of the world in that Fast and Furious movie, and she takes off her top, her covering and exposes her little bikini and starts walking. It's supposed to be this big introductory scene of sorts, and I remember seeing the scene thinking, she's too skinny.
Wasn't there controversy too around that? Well, I don't remember. I was too young when Halle Berry was the Bond girl, and she does her famous
Oh, well, she took
water
her.
scene.
This wasn't
Yeah.
her. Gal Gadot didn't expose her breasts. It was just showing the bottom half of from the back of her bikini as she walked away. So you see like the butt shot. It's and I just was like,
That's
I
the
know what I'm
standard.
supposed to be happening. I know what is supposed to be my response, but I was like, that's not. I was like, this is why Sir Mix-a-Lot did his song years ago. It was like the stereotypical. This is not. But yeah, you're right. She has been for a while now, as I'm aware, an outspoken Zionist proponent. And but Halle Berry, if I remember correctly, she got a big check for that. Like, that was an additional check. Like, it was, I remember at the time, like a big additional to her salary for the film. Like, if you want to see these, you got to pay. And I'm not, whatever that says about
There's
it.
a comment from KD in the chat. How can you? Where is it? It's funny. How can you not act and be a Zionist? Pick a struggle.
Oh, wow. Dang. Shots fired.
Shots fired.
I feel that was a lot. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah.
Poor Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman.
Trying our best out here. Being a
So
material person.
maybe we'll just have to come back to this. Maybe I'm off. Maybe Ear Doctor threw me off, and I can't get the right vibe here to roast these folks properly on my own. But we have to,
Who would be a
I
good
think
roasting partner for you?
we
I'll help.
we
Who we talking about?
Van Jones and Michael Rappaport. I feel like I need somebody my age to fully appreciate the longevity of Michael Rappaport and Van Jones's.
I'll be 48 Saturday. I'm getting close.
I know, but do you have these similar feel? Like, I don't know that you followed Van Jones's career, and I don't know if you have the same reaction to Michael Rappaport that I do. Like, do you remember all the movies he's been in? Like, Cop
Yeah.
City,
Yeah,
Copland, I should say, Copland.
I mean, when you marry does he marry a black woman?
Did he?
Rappaport?
No.
He might. I don't know. But anyway, I mean,
No,
I
he
think
played like he did in that movie Zebrahead.
and then the thing is, when you've been so involved into the hip hop culture, sometimes you feel like it's not about your skin color. It's about I'm in this culture, so I can speak from the culture. So they feel like they have authority in bringing that that I am superiority complex over with hip hop. Then they feel like they could talk on stuff. So yeah, I get it. He could be a dick.
As a man with a white mother, let me bring my authority to this discussion here, Doctor.
As a son of a white woman.
As a son of a white, let me
You a different one.
reassert my authority. Then, if we gonna play that game,
You a different
and
kind.
say, nah, I'm not going for it. This has always been a problem, but this has been really the problem from hip hop's beginning. This is like the Source magazine and all the white Harvard boys telling the story of hip hop. And all like they get to oh, and look at this. Don't even tell me he's from Jersey. He's not even from New York.
What?
Uh-oh.
I mean, them Italians in Jersey, they different. I don't know what Rappaport is. What's that? Oh well.
I don't honestly know. He looks Irish, but I don't know. Maybe he's a Jew.
Sounds like a
I don't
French
honestly
last name
know.
as well.
I think
Interesting.
Rappaport is Jewish. I don't know. But on him,
You
and
can say
Van
Jew
Jones.
here, Doc. Jew is not a bad word, by the way.
Oh, you can say that. I just don't.
It's
know
not a
how.
bad.
Yeah,
It's
we
the
grew up
official
feeling
title.
so bad saying that. Yeah.
My and my mother is a Jew and would not say Jewish. She's
Ooh.
like, I'm not Jewish. I'm a Jew. Like it's the people that don't like Jews that turned Jew into a bad word. It's like
okay.
Michael Rappaport is my yarmulke brother. Man, let me tell you something. That says it even more. We got this is Ashkenazi. Yeah, we gotta. That's what I'm saying. Like this is. I hear this thing of we all perform it and can talk about it and da da da. But nah, man. Nah, this is something that comes out of the black world, a Pan-African world. Tariq Nasheed, who seems to be confused and spreading confusion about that now too. By the way, did you see his the new trailer, his documentary?
No,
I'm
I seen
not.
the poster.
Hip hop is only Black American.
Uh-oh.
Come on, like Latinos
Oh.
was a nowhere around. Come on.
Ay, ay, ay.
But like black people don't have people from the diaspora in their family. Like, where do you draw the line? So
You didn't get that you have to check at the family gathering. It's like, where are you from? What do you look like?
I
don't know.
mean,
People just like to hear themselves sometimes. It sounds like
I think it's a lucrative lane to start to carve out. Hip hop there were no Latinos, it wasn't no Jamaicans that started hip hop. You can't.
Really?
Yeah. First of all, nobody said Jamaicans started hip hop. They acknowledged the influence of Jamaica and the rest of the diaspora. But they've changed the whole narrative so they could. So me and Michael Rappaport, if I were ever to get invited to a family reunion or a family gathering, I am literally the black sheep. If I ever get invited, I'll see if he's there, and I'll tell him to his face, do a better documentary, removing yourself from it.
Yikes.
Now,
Fund BPM to do a hip hop documentary.
Exactly.
What's
Yeah.
your beef with Van Jones, real quick? Is this basically he's this crybaby? What?
Well, for me, it's just start with the fact that he's agreeing with Israel in this case. So just politically, it doesn't matter anything else. I disagree with anybody who would be defending Israel.
Yeah.
But he has a long history of going back to the 90s of being in very what are at least nominally considered or were once considered black radical spaces. Mm-hmm. So he has this history, and I know Kamau and others probably know this better than I do, but he has this longer history of at one point representing black liberation, socialism, radical organizational struggle, and then he has rebranded himself into a CNN spokesperson, an Obama admin person, a very liberal black spokesperson for these ridiculous neo-colonial policies. And so to see him now, while the black radical tradition is fully in line with Palestine, and while all decent thinking people are fully in line with Palestine, here he comes not only to not represent that, but to champion its opposite. And that's...
So he went from the dashiki to the suit with the noose. And now he forgot to take the noose off. He can't take it off. That's what happens.
It's
Damn Jones. Yeah. Not Van
Damn
Jones.
Damn Jones. Van Jones, goddamn, Yeah,
and wasn't he crying over... What was he crying over
spilled
in that
milk.
moment?
He was crying over spilled milk. No, I'm just playing.
But it was something like he was crying over criticism of like Obama or something like that. It was something silly, right? It was something, it wasn't so.
Shit, let the wind blow a certain way. He'll be crying. Let's go ahead and take a quick break right here. And then we're going to come back with some more news because, like you said, Erica has laced us with a whole lot of this, that, and a whole lot of that. So let's take a break right here on no other than the Remix Morning Show. Yeah. What's up, everybody? Big up to all you remixers out there listening, tuned in. Make sure y'all hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, go subscribe. Go to patreon.com. Go become a member because we got some material over there you need to go check out. All right? With that said, man, this is Black Power Media, and we are up to like 33,000 subscribers now, so thank all y'all for tuning in. With that said, I wanted to let y'all know that we got a bunch of dope shows that y'all need to check out. What shows am I talking about? Well, let me rewind a little bit in case y'all wasn't checking them out last week. First, let's start off with Black Myths. We had two black chopping it up about pro-Palestinian with two pro-Palestinian students. So let's see what they had to say.
It's more of just a BPM special dealing with the persecution of pro-Palestinian protesters and activists and organizers on university campuses. So today we have two people, both of you from Cornell University, and they represent their select organizations. So before I introduce them, I just want to say so that's primarily what we're going to be talking about, but this might go all around the world. As y'all know, the conversations can go. There's been, just to give people just a little bit of context, so we have a sense of, some common understanding of what's going on. There was just at Brandeis, I believe, pro-Palestinian organizations were suspended. The Harvard president came out and condemned From the River to the Sea.
That's right. From the River to the Sea. The chant is going around. So make sure y'all go check out that show right there. And also make sure you go check out another dope show that came out right here, which is Piper Carter and Women Rapping Revolution, where she had Dr. Jared Ball on. Let's see what they was talking about and how the record industry is full of BS. Let's go.
I watched a lot of people lose their job because they got beaten up because this person over here at this label, wanted their artists to be elevated. And these writers over here at the magazine were like, they're trash. And it was like, really? And they come over to the magazine mobbed up. And then next thing you know, this person's on the cover. And they don't like the article that's written. They go down there and beat the brakes off of them. Next thing you know, he's in the top 5. Okay. That was normal for at least a decade. I want to say like late 90s. It's probably normal now.
Yeah, it's been going on for a while. You want that top spot? You're going to get them top knots if you don't get it. All right. Well, there's a whole lot going on in that conversation, so make sure y'all go tune in and check that out too. All right. With that said, let's go ahead and get back to our morning crew right here on the Remix Morning Show. Yeah.
Thanks for all that. I got to go back and watch Piper's show from last night. I missed that. I want to see that discussion she did of the lyrics, women. Like I think I need to use it for my class probably today.
Yeah, Piper can go in, boy. She know her hip hop history. Very active in the community. Back then, still is. I mean, she's been carrying the culture around for a while. So big up to the sister Piper.
There's so much good content on BPM. I can't catch it all. So
You better hit that subscribe button. Make sure.
thanks for joining us. Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right. So that's pretty much what went down for the week. I gotta go ahead and clock out. I gotta go. I gotta go teach the youth. Y'all forgot that I'm a health educator in the school.
Did you leave us a mix?
I had to say that, man. Hey, listen, the thing is, we're not always going to agree here on BPM, but that's what it's about. It's about not always agreeing and being able to have a conversation about stuff and not having no ill intent and no ill will against each other. That's how we build and destroy. You know what I'm saying? So with that, big up to y'all tuning in. Thank y'all for tuning in. Big up to my brother, Dr. Jared Ball. Big up to Lucretia Williams. I am
Peace.
out. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Peace here, doctor.
Bye.
And man, I am a little concerned about them kids.
Depends on what he's saying.
Fuck them kids.
No, bless the kid.
BPM is for the children.
Yes.
Yeah. No, right on. Not absolutely. We're not always all going to agree, but that's I think what is good about it. So speaking of which, even just with the and I was just emailing with Kalanji on that just now. Like even with the Wise Intelligent interview he did the other day that I've seen some of and do not agree with.
Again, missed it.
Yeah, it was a good conversation. I mean, Wise is one of my favorite MCs, and I think if I really thought about it and did an honest, I'd probably have to put him in my at least top 10. I think if you think about his longevity in the catalog that many people are not aware of, I think, or not everybody is aware of, he is. Even if you go back and see those old clips where he battled Jay-Z back in the day, before all of them were famous, like he is incredible. We do not agree on some things around economics and stuff, so we'll talk more about that I think on Friday during EYL. But some of what he, his Black economic plan and his argument that I've really been thinking about, his argument that Mao was funding the Chinese Revolution with an international array of Chinese businesses, I think needs a lot of unpacking and discussion. So, but there are a number of things but the point really that I'm getting at is that I think it's important that he and anyone be able to be, not anyone, but that these disagreements be able to be had and held on this platform.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't gonna say like, right. We can't just be having, but so I think it's important that we have a platform where these things these discussions and even debates can happen.
Absolutely.
So,
I think disagreeing well is an important skill. So.
Yeah. So, all right. Okay. So there's much more. I know there's something on here from the run sheet. But if you want to pull it up or tell me to pull it up, but I had been watching just so much. Actually, let me start with this. Electronic Intifada, even this morning, I was watching what they've been talking about in terms of what's happening over there and interviewing Palestinian journalists. And it's really beyond words, or words that I have. But I did see also this on Ben Norton's Geopolitical report, a discussion of the latest coming out of Netanyahu's administration, where the Israeli minister and others are saying we're rolling out the Nakba 2023. This idea that they're happily calling for another genocidal Holocaust against Palestinians. And I included this, whoops, not this, that's not what I meant to do. I included this picture also here, just as a reminder, as is already ramping up for the 2024 cycle, that we're being encouraged again to vote for the lesser of evils. And here we are with Biden happily spending, what, $14 billion more to support this madness. And I'm just not, again, seeing the value in this routine of voting for these people and supporting these policies that end up doing what's being done over there. And so I'll start there. I'll let you respond. And if was there a particular story on the run sheet related to this that you wanted me to pull up, or should I just start clicking?
Oh yeah, I was gonna pull up that one, the Nakba one. So great start.
Oh, is there one in here? Because I just was grabbing that from my own account.
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay, if you got it, yeah, cool.
Yeah, let me pull it up. Yeah.
As Lucretia pulls that up from the BPM mansion where she's been staying, as you can see in the background. So please do like, share, subscribe, and support our Patreon, because Lucretia's anyway. All right.
Thanks, Dr. Ball.
Yeah.
So Netanyahu calls Palestinians collateral damage as Israel destroys Gaza. The Israeli prime minister also called the UN's accusation of war crimes hogwash, despite now killing more than 11,000 Palestinians in Gaza. Yeah, the numbers are just catastrophic.
And also, they're not able to even still to this day provide, according to Electronic Intifada, any evidence that supports all their claims. So when he says it's hogwash, they also are not able to support all their claims going back to October 7th about what has been said to have been done to them by Hamas.
Correct.
So it's just...
Al Jazeera released a news report a few days ago because the IDF said that when they struck the first hospital, I think Al Abu Ghraib, I forget the name of the hospital, that there was a tunnel visible, and they proved that was a water pump. They had a specialist come on and say, this is what water pumps look like, and Hamas tunnels are not meant to be easily. Thank you, Al Shifa Hospital. And that was a lie. And they, so much so that they are releasing AI generated videos to say, look at all the Hamas structures underneath these hospitals. So they're resorting to computer generated videos to prove, like, why are we still talking to these people? Why are they not, why is the Israeli government not ostracized immediately? Like now, like today, like on October 7th. I don't know.
And I know this maybe is not helpful, but I keep saying, or at least thinking, I don't give a damn if Hamas has every one of their fighters and weapons and bombs underneath every one of those hospitals. I don't see how that justifies bombing the hospital. Like Israel says this, like we're supposed to say, well, in that case, bomb all them kids and all the people on machines and as I heard discussed on Electronic Intifada again this morning, we were forgetting that before October 7th, Gaza's medical conditions were a mess to begin with. Like they were already having to send people to Egypt and wherever else for like major issues. Like the basics, beyond the basics, they were struggling to do that before all of this. So my thing is, I don't get it. I don't care if, Israel should say, you know what? You got us on that one. If all your fighters are underneath that hospital, we'll have to wait till they come out. You know what I mean? Like, but this whole idea that, oh no, yeah, bomb another hospital, because that make it.
I mean, we have documented evidence now of Palestinian
I saw this too.
children. Yes, Palestinian children, neonates, just waiting to die, as doctors say, because of no incubators. But it's war.
Hamas is under there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's justified. And yeah, same thing with the Mein Kampf. Again, I don't care if every Palestinian, literally, I don't care if every literal Palestinian or if every literal Arab had a copy of Mein Kampf. I do not care. That is not, so I was asking somebody the other day, so are we saying then, because I know they got copies of Mein Kampf probably in a house right down the street from here. I know Maryland as a state is one of the most viciously white supremacist states in terms of levels of organized white supremacist entities per capita maybe even in the world. It is up there. And I know when I go out to Cecil County or Baltimore County or Howard County, Montgomery County, there's somebody got a copy. So we saying if I find out somebody got a copy in there, I can, what are we saying? I can do what? I'm justified to do what? What's
pretty much, you're right. Like,
what's the rules?
What can we do? Right.
In fact, don't they have a copy of Mein Kampf? You know where I last saw a copy of Mein Kampf? You know where I last saw an actual copy of Mein Kampf? It was in the Democracy Collaborative at the University of Maryland at College Park, and it was owned by Ben Barber. I was actually reading and he had left it. Ben Barber, I don't know if people remember him, where he is now, or if he's even still alive, to be honest. But for a while, was like a big name in liberal politics and spreading democracy. And I was working with his offshoot of the Democracy Collaborative, and he had a library that he left there for the university, and in there was a copy of Mein Kampf. And so are we then saying what? What do we then say? What do we? So yeah, I mean, it's just
wow.
And everybody should read it. I'm with Kwame Ture on that. Like his argument was every Jew should definitely read it. If at minimum, if you like. This is the man that mobilized the machine that wiped out X amount of my people. I would like to know. I would like to know what was the font of that wisdom per se. But anyway, but the idea that that's an excuse or any of this is an excuse, it's all nonsense. It's all nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, there's the I think it was deleted yesterday. I was trying to find it, but I can't find it now. The deleted IDF tweet about when there are mixed, according to them, when there are mixed use targets, like some civilian, some military, that makes it a legitimate target. That's not true under international law. So, but it was then quickly deleted. But because of screenshots, Al Jazeera was able to talk about it. But I mean, they're just so obvious with their genocidal intent and coming from, I mean, one of the now talks about in the UN are about, can they use the term genocide? Because if they say that means that they have to act. But it's like, there's so much evidence, especially with top officials in the war cabinet saying, no, this is Nakba 2023. You're correct. Like, we do want to kill them all. I don't know what other evidence you need that there's a genocide happening. So, and it's having rollover in the UK as well. The UK cabinet is having a shuffle. Suella Braverman, who's their Home Secretary, in charge of the police, was fired just yesterday, I believe, for multiple things. Most of all, calling the marches that were happening last weekend in London as, again, another terrorist organization. So, and other things. I mean, she was saying some horrific comments in the media. So,
Well, listen, yeah, what can I say? Shout out, at least out this way, shout out to Our Revolution and PSL and CAIR, CAIR. I forgot what Islamic group that exists.
Yes, CARE, I think.
Forgot what the acronym stands for, but they and some others have been hosting rallies out here in Howard County. I had the pleasure of passing through, and I can't say it was a pleasure to speak because I'm not. It's just not.
It's not your thing.
And then, oh man,
The Council on Islamic Relations, I think. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, thank you.
American Islamic Relations.
Council on American Islamic Relations. Thank you. Do you know what I did Sunday? Sunday, yeah.
What?
So I go up to speak, and it's outside. They have a little podium, but on the podium they've used a little bottle of juice to hold the Palestinian flag on the podium. And because I went up there, and as soon as I got up there, and I don't know if this is, I don't know if it's on tape, but there's a moment where like there's this little shot of back pain, and I start to lean on the podium, and then of course knock the flag off onto the ground. So I got to stop and of course pick up the flag, because you can't have flags hitting the ground. You know what I mean? I'm trying to support the Palestinians. I'm over here knocking their flag on the ground. And then I got to try to recover and get back into the rally. I mean, it was just, so I gotta figure this out. But I'm trying to be a solid.
You're trying.
I'm trying. People it was terrible. It was terrible. But it wasn't, I admit I'm not the most graceful, but this wasn't so much clumsy. It was sort of like desperation. Like I needed to lean on something real quick. And I didn't realize how like unsturdy the flag was fastened. So I didn't realize it was like a it's just been me and public engagements lately. It's not been going well. I'm not on a hot streak, but I'm trying. Like you said, I'm trying. See what it is? See what it is? It was see what it is?
Sleeper agent.
The sleeper agent. I was like, let me.
Oh my God! Can you imagine? No.
But I did make contact with a couple good people this weekend that I hope to bring to the platform. So folks that I haven't had a chance to meet. Because admittedly, I've never done this kind of stuff out here in these tree-lined streets. It's usually in DC or in Baltimore or somewhere else. So this has been, and then I got to share that on the Hickory Ridge Village Board meeting last night, which is also its own. So I'm out here serving the people as best I can. Yeah,
the people of Hickory Ridge, yeah.
Now I'm Mossad. God, damn.
Oh man.
Yikes.
Oh dear.
It's rough out here. But in that moment, it might have looked like it because it was like a mess. It was a mess. So, okay. All right. Wait. Oh, wait. What is this one? Y'all favorite? A video of y'all's favorite
white person talking?
Oh, Kamal's not here. No, but Kamal's not here. Someone asked Chomsky what he thinks about the statement that Israel should not exist and whether he's horrified by it. He responds, actually, I agree with that. Oh, so let's hear what he has to say about
the statement is that, in the course of time, Israel should no longer exist. Well, actually, I happen to agree with that too. In fact, so do a lot of people in Israel, the ones who think there should be a single democratic state. That's not calling for wiping anyone out. Actually, there are two countries that are not only calling for some nation not to exist, but are destroying it, namely the U.S. and Israel. That's their position with regard to the Palestinians. And they're not just saying it. I stress, they're not just saying it, they're doing it day by day. That's the meaning of the policies that are going on right before our eyes in Gaza and the West Bank, which we are supporting and paying for.
So it's easy to see why for Kamau and many others, he would be among our favorite whites, and that because Chomsky's been saying that for a long time, and been punished in some ways for it too. But he's right, and I just heard on Electronic Intifada again this morning a discussion of something similar to that, where they were talking about how and I forgot, or was it Ben Norton's? It might have been Ben Norton. One of them was making the point that it is Israelis' expressed policy to what he was just saying there, not allow for they can't have a Palestinian state, because the point and this brilliant discussion I heard with Ben Norton and Michael Hudson the other day, where Michael Hudson made the point in response to this point that Israel is, he said, and been referenced this way, equated to an aircraft carrier in the Middle East for the United States, and in itself, the state of Israel is part of the United States military, meaning that this is why, to Chomsky's point, Israel cannot accept either a two-state solution where Palestine would have its own independent state, because Israel's function as an offshoot of the United States military in that region is there to dominate that region, not create independent states for Palestinians or Arabs or anyone else. And then also that a single state solution is not acceptable, because then that would require it to be democratic and not a Jewish state, and therefore not a Zionist project, and therefore not an offshoot of the U.S. military or an aircraft carrier functioning as an aircraft carrier where they can launch their military raids into that region. So in either case, there is no solution other than what Israel is carrying out right now, or from the perspective of the rest of us, an end to Israel itself. So when asked do I think Israel has a right to exist? I'm saying currently constructed, no, but neither does any other nation state currently constructed have a right to exist as they are, because they are all offshoots of European and Western imperialism. And I'm not sure that there is any country on the planet that is itself not directly or indirectly a response to or a creation of Western empire. So stop there.
Yeah, I mean, I think if anyone starts examining Israel's policies, and then it's not a very far stretch to then see every other settler colony and needing to be dismantled. So yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And I think, I mean, I'm just so grateful for the protests and the actions of the Palestinian folks and the diaspora, and all the solidarity, because yeah, Palestinians and people who have been in solidarity with them have had this analysis for years. And also, I mean, I wasn't paying immediately, I didn't know as much earlier, like 10 years ago. But I don't know if the Israeli government were saying this, but they've been saying, no, they've not been saying a two-state solution as far as I've seen. And then especially with the map that Netanyahu showed over a month ago, it's like there was no Palestine. Like, they are very clear that it will be the Greater Israel. I don't know. The Greater Israel sounds incredibly creepy. So um, I don't know.
It does. So speaking of which, when I thought Kamau the other day tweeted out something really good about speaking of the colonialism, where he showed the statement from the letter from Theodore Herzl being written to Cecil Rhodes, saying basically, from one colonist to another, oh, great Cecil Rhodes, you colonists, you should support Israel, because we want to do in the Middle East what you're doing in Africa and everywhere else. I mean, it's pretty clear. Like, we're not, we're Israel, meaning is team empire, you know what I mean? And they are, yeah.
It's
So
not in
all of those
question.
rules apply. Yeah. All of
Yeah.
those rules apply for sure. The that is the rules of colonialism, and yeah.
Well,
So
I do want to share this one because
Sure.
Democrats are being asked to do their job, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, my phone is not has has been ringing all morning. Let's see if I can share this. The phone doesn't stop. Overwhelming demands for a ceasefire catch Democrats. I'm sorry, catch Democrats off guard. What? Um, and into the bloodshed in the Israeli-Hamas conflict seemed more remote than ever on Thursday when President Joe Biden answered a question about the chances of a ceasefire. Yes, which he said, none, no possibility. But as Biden refuses to use his leverage over U.S. Israeli allies, voters and constituents across the country are overwhelming members of his party with demands to stop the violence, which has claimed more than 11,000 lives. They are receiving an unprecedented number of calls and emails. Yeah, I found it really fascinating that these members are getting a second wind, I guess, in their political career this year with having to pick sides with Israel, Palestine. And I don't know. One of my favorite chants of November 11th was "Come November, we'll remember," because it's a nightmare. So that's all I have to say about that.
But what? But what does that mean? Because
I mean,
who is the Democratic Party going to put up to
exactly.
to replace Biden, and then who are people
Mhm.
in the streets going to actually vote for, if not Biden? And we've already seen the drumbeat begin of you got to look to the benefits of what Biden has given us, black women judges and whatever else, or he's not Trump, or it would be worse with Trump. It would be worse with. And so
Yeah,
yeah.
with there being no actual, at least in our estimation, no political solution from either the Democrats or the Republicans, it's like, yeah, who can we put forward besides other candidates?
And that's why I heard again Ajamu Baraka's voice saying Cornel West had a lane. He had a
Mm,
lane.
he did.
And I'm probably going to vote for Claudia, but I know that most people are not going to do that, and most people who are out there chanting we're going to remember in November, they're not going to vote for Claudia
No.
or even Cornel West. So what does that mean? They're going to start voting for Robert Kennedy Jr.? I'm not,
Their options are looking pretty slim.
who I just saw Jesse Ventura saying he wants to be the VP of. I'm like, is that going to be told to be? And so I mean, I don't know. I just, that's what I'm saying. Like, because I heard the chant too this weekend actually. We're going to remember in November, and to be honest with you, it was one of the chants I quietly didn't respond to. I just because I was like, I can't in good faith chime in on this one. Because I don't. I'm like, I don't believe we're on the same. Like, it was just one of those moments.
Right.
Some chants I just feel more. I feel really.
Yeah, it was funny because
so I was like, I'm not gonna say that one.
I think I was closer to white people when I heard this chant who were there, but part of it, I don't remember the first part, but the second part was "America Go to Hell," and they all like kind of tapered off at that part, which I thought was pretty funny.
And there was one that says "Israel go to hell,"
Right.
Now that one is, but the other, because the other one that I honestly don't say anymore when I'm in the crowd is "No justice, no peace," because I'm like, y'all don't mean that either. So I'm just not doing it.
Y'all are not for real.
And maybe I'm not either. So I'm not trying to judge. I'm just like, I know we're not. I know this formation is not talking about doing something. So I don't want to be out here fronting, and Al Sharpton and them say "No justice, no peace." So I mean, anybody can say it. So it's like, but so I don't make a big deal. I'm not trying to say I'm in the rally spaces like, no, you're fake. I'm just saying I just quietly keep my mouth shut on those, and then start chanting again when they're like, "Free Palestine." It's like. The Greater Israel is Zionist version of Manifest Destiny. Thank you, ZZ Lion, for the super chat and the accurate parallel. It absolutely is. Okay.
9:30.
So speaking of this question, why engage a corrupt electoral system? There was a chant that was heard after I did leave the podium Sunday at the rally, which was, we don't want Calvin Ball, we want Jared Ball. And which is a reference to this very small contingent of people that are pointing out that Calvin Ball is no longer running for Congress here in Maryland, and they want me to do it. And it's almost impossible to happen because I don't have spousal approval. But I did have a conversation with them, and it was an interesting conversation. And they did an Ajamu Baraka analysis of Howard County and a path to Congress. And I mean, it was like, they were like, you could actually win. And then this is the one that almost got me. Again, I don't have spousal approval, so it's not going to happen. But what almost got me was when we referenced this right here, because again, I mentioned that Calvin Ball is the current county councilman for our district here in Howard County, who was thought to be running for Congress for the now empty Sarbanes seat, or I think that was the seat, or Senate. He was going to run for Senate. I don't know. He was going to do something.
Okay.
But he's not going to do it anymore. So they were saying, so the idea was we could use my favorite Eddie Murphy film, Distinguished Gentleman. And I don't know if it is my favorite Eddie Murphy film. No, Life is my favorite. This is my second favorite Eddie Murphy film. It's an underrated classic. And one of the taglines of this film was that he used name recognition to get himself elected to Congress as part of a hustle. So in the slogan in this movie was, vote for the name you know. So the idea was we would run a campaign here that just highlighted the ball part of my my name, and say, vote for the name you know, and get people to vote for me by accident. And that would be a part of the strategy to get me into Congress. And I did think, I will not front, the idea of being able to be in one of those spaces and look some of them in the face or say something to their face. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit appealing. The idea that so you thought Rashida Tlaib
Right.
was a problem. My goodness. But anyway, so.
No. And I know people have other lots of thoughts, but I've enjoyed the conversations that Ajamu and others have said about engaging in electoral politics. But then do you think that you would be a one-term person because of just how it is? Or, that's usually where my mind goes. I'm like, they're not going to let you do anything.
Yeah. Again, so what really I have to admit is appealing is just the kind of childish, I can't really say that I see an actual political value to it beyond, the argument was that it would be something that could be turned into something that would change the political zeitgeist and change things in the country. And one of the people involved was making a very strong argument with a lot of data and reference to numbers about that he said, if first, for instance, he said, you being the only one who would come out decisively for a ceasefire would guarantee you anywhere from 40 to 60% of the Maryland youth vote. So the idea, and it's part of this is being led by younger people who are saying we don't have any representation, but younger people do want more change. So it's like, it was a very, I'm a sucker for all of it. I'm the halftime, the speech, I'm the sucker for that speech every time. So I'm very moved by that kind of argument. That's why my wife was like, yeah, I know what you were going to say. That's why you can't do it. But, because there are ramifications beyond just me, but so when I think of it, it is just I like this idea of just having, just being able to say with a bigger microphone things that we say here all the time. But no, I don't see them letting me do anything. I don't see getting elected again. I don't even see, honestly, I don't even see for sure when. I was like, all I would do as an opposition is take 10 minutes of spliced video edits from BPM and sink Jared's campaign just out the gate. But yeah, anyway, so again, I don't see like any necessary, I don't see the political value that others might see in it. And I admit, so I just, but I admit but it is enticing. I mean, it's like the idea, I would like to be able to mix it up a little bit with some of these folks just to see what it would be like, just as an experience, just to, what does it look like when you actually see somebody in Congress representing what people actually want? Like, what would that look like? Like across the board, like there would be no issue where like the AOCs and them could be like, I wouldn't be, the distinction between me and even them would be fascinating. But anyway, so all that, and then I'll stop here, but it all presupposes also that I would be effective in conveying my own views, which is not always the case. And I have to be real with that too. So,
But I think, I mean, just from what I've seen, I don't think you're any worse than anybody else at the moment. So
yeah, but
if you were going to get elected, they would also be interested in hearing what you have to say, right?
And then you got to do it in different spaces. You got to do
Right.
it in short interviews, hostile interviews, mainstream media interviews. You got to again, none of those are my spaces. Like none of those. I don't thrive in any of those. So anyway, I don't. But I admit,
Tempting.
it's very tempting to be, and they put on a really good,
Well,
I'll need to sign my allegiance to Israel. Yeah, I mean, it would just be so many. For sure, if I did not have, if my wife either was not my wife or was differently, employed, or if our children were differently situated, I would have no problem with it. But we're not. I don't know. I will
it's a
say
whole thing.
this: we did have a real discussion about what negative response, what it could mean. And it is by design that people are discouraged, because we talked about a number of other people that I think would be better suited to do what we're talking about. But none of them, each of them was also saying, look, I don't have my household straight, my employment straight, my kids straight, my wife straight, my husband straight, my partners. Like we don't have too many of us feel insecure enough that we're like, I don't want to take a risk. And there's too much of a punishment. And then to be honest, there's that you could talk about the collective in theory, but at the end of the day, to what extent does any claimed collective have the ability, even if in interest, to support someone once the state starts coming crashing down on them? So it's any news? Oh, you want me to move on? I thought you were asking me a question. Sorry. Yeah. No.
Not a real. No.
I thought it was not an actual question. So we can move on. But I did just want to. I thought that was interesting. I did think that was interesting. And I do think it is something that we do need to consider in terms of beyond just electoral politics. To what extent are we organized sufficiently to support people who will take certain risks in or outside of electoral politics?
Right.
And then
My
expect them to
very
do it,
50-cent answer to that is that the organizing efforts around people or to get them into these positions is at their beginning stages, but or it varies depending on where you are. So in what county, etc.
Yeah.
Which makes our job a little difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but okay.
right.
By the way, everybody, at 10 o'clock, just after the remix, please, if you can come back, I'm going to be having a discussion with Atume Gant. who's coming back to the platform after too long an absence to talk with us about imperfect cinema, some media. He's a cinema studies guy, a theater studies, a movies media studies guy. He assigned me a couple of readings.
Ooh.
Woof, they're above my head. So I'm definitely going to need his help getting through it, but they're fascinating. And yeah, important discussion about media, film, the politics of film.
Oh, I love that. I love dissecting media stuff. Cool.
Yeah. And this stuff is the concept of the imperfect cinema, specifically coming out of the Cuban Revolution and its discussion, and is fascinating. And again, it's above my head, so I definitely need help with that. So please, if you can, all come back at 10 o'clock. And then, if I'm not mistaken, I think is that it for today on BPM? I think so, but we'll see. But make sure you have the bell rung just in case I'm missing something, and you can come back and catch everything. So, all right, where should we go from here?
I did want to. It's not letting me pull it up. Could you pull up the short video about the DC police chief? I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, my favorite people.
Making sure that they have.
Which one is the video?
It is under
the link, the video. My bad, everybody. So then, are you getting it? Oh, there it is. I got it. Did you get it?
It won't let me open it for some reason.
I got it. Let's see. This should be it here. Here we go. Oh, yeah. This says to attract new officers, DC police chief says, along with $25,000 hiring bonus, she's working with developers on a plan to provide officers with reduced rent. Oh, wow. This is great.
I want our officers to live in the District of Columbia, but some.
Oh. Am I frozen?
The rent is quite high, if that makes sense. I want our officers to live in the District of Columbia, but sometimes the rent is quite high, if that makes sense. I want our.
Okay. Wow. I thought it was longer than that. I was like, oh, it's 10 seconds. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So, as if they need any help. $25,000 hiring bonus. And I mean, I don't have anything other insightful to say other than it's horrific, and rent everywhere is ridiculous. And they are completely incredibly subsidized. And so I've been trying to put this a little bit into my sermons, that I've been trying to say, like, y'all cops don't keep us safe. Please, 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 please. And it's connected to Palestine and Israel. And, there's a cop city in every city. And they continue to be built. So getting organized is important. Oh, I think you're still muted. Well, I can't hear you. Uh-oh. Okay. Getting his mic together. Thanks for hanging out with us, bearing with us. I can't hear you. Can y'all hear him? Maybe it's me. Okay, just me. Hey, y'all. Okay. Great. Well, yeah, I've just really enjoyed listening to
Did that fix? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what's going on. There's something. I don't know.
Are we all
I didn't
back?
do any.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us? Can you all hear
Yep,
me? Okay.
I can.
Um.
Okay, great.
All right.
Oh, they want to hear more about my sermon. Oh,
Please go
thanks.
ahead. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, so it was called Taking Control of the Narrative. And I was talking about because I took this is where that project that I mentioned before, the Nation of Islam paper that I did previously, I took a multi-religious intensive course, and we were talking about how dialogue, um, especially interreligious dialogue, has been pushed through the lens of Christianity. So often you'll have peace conversations, or if they're brought in for like religious conflict, to organize around Christianity. And I was saying that, it's important to look at how other people view their spirituality through their lens, and then judge them, or help them judge their goals based off what they want to do, not what we think they should be doing. Um, and so I was saying, by taking control of narratives that have been lost, and I even included armed struggle, which I'm proud of, in my sermon, of that that's how we can imagine new futures, because it's important to decolonize our minds and think differently about what is possible. Um, and yeah, I'm a second year seminary student, so I'm not ordained yet. So I have 2 more years and then ordination. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really hope. I really. I really hope you and we all do this sermon thing.
I'm down if people are down. Like I'm just surprised you all are down. But yeah, I'd be
I
happy to do it.
mean, it's similar to what happened on EYL Friday, and will happen in the future. Like, I think we have to be able to find ways to engage religion differently from all of our perspectives, those of faith and those without. And if you're here, and it seems we should have to have. It seems logical, and so in other words, yeah. So I see, I am seeing some of the chat. So I'm not, again, if we can have, and I do think we have to have more discussion and debate around religion, but I think also we can engage it differently by having you and others preach. I think preaching in the context of BPM would be dope. And I think it would be dope if we had you, and if we got my brother. I'm gonna reach out and ask him to do it. And then honestly, if Diallo would construct, I'm gonna ask Diallo to do this. I'm gonna ask him to construct a presentation or a sermon that I'm gonna humbly request that it not contain the vitriol or the condemnation of others, but one that looks to preach from a perspective of atheism. Like, or anyone, if because I see some saying not Diallo, but I'm saying I think Diallo would be great for it. But if not him, I would love to see someone else do it. And it doesn't. Again, I think we should.
Within Unitarian Universalism in particular, I'll just say it really fast. Humanists and atheists were pretty much the core of the spiritual tradition for a long time, especially after the humanist manifestos in the 20s and 30s. So you were getting, for all intents and purposes, a lot of humanist sermons, and even in a lot of, it varies depending on the congregation, but yeah, for a while, there's still talk about like after, I'll tell you this quick story. I went to a sermon in my home congregation in Chicago, and a lady came out afterwards, and she said, I counted the word, God, like 3 times. Like, I don't know if I can come back to this church. And I was like, well, we are a place that has, multi identities. So I know, and we're working on that too as seminarians, because there are people that are atheists, Buddhists, Hindu, and so using language skillfully and like understanding what that means in each context, I think, is vitally important. Like, so, yeah.
Right on.
I know.
All right. So stay tuned, everybody, for that. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and have the bell rung so you don't miss the announcement and then the occasion of Lucretia's inaugural sermon. I can't wait. And I think it's just a matter of you picking the Sunday morning you want to do, or I'm assuming Sunday morning, but that you want to do it. And then we go from there. So, okay. Anything else you want to get to before we get out of here? There's
Yeah, I did want to do this quick story if I can pull it up about our folks
the
in
chat is hilarious.
South Carolina. Okay, so the headline is Inside a Controversial Auction for Gullah Geechee Homes. Tax burden property owners by the descendants of formerly enslaved people in South Carolina is being sold to hedge funds and developers. In October in Beaufort, South Carolina, there was a real estate auction and people could yell heirs property. And then the auctioneer would know that that property was formerly held by descendants of enslaved folks. Usually these are homes where the taxes were unpaid. And then if they were able to yell heirs property, they were able to keep it. I don't know for how long, and it wasn't auctioned off that day. Of more than the 250 properties that were auctioned, at least 10 belonged to heirs. And a quote here, the land loss we are dealing with is now due to predatory development and greed, says Luana Graves Stellers, director for a nonprofit at the Low Country Gullah Foundation. So land theft, just wanted to share that.
I was also distracted by the story on the sideline of that story
was that?
where it said Elaine Brown is now a developer for poor people. That's fascinating. But
In Oakland, yeah.
In Oakland, yeah. But yeah, I mean, see if we can ask Geechee if he's got some more insight on all of that. But that's crazy. Yeah, I honestly don't know what
I
to
would love
say.
to hear his thoughts on it too.
Yeah, that's yeah, honestly, I don't know what to say. That's
Stealing of the land is just they've got us tied up pretty good. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But yeah, honestly, I don't know what to say. I'm trying to come up with something. I don't have anything to say. So
I can click on that other one. That seemed very interesting.
Which other one? Is there something related to that? Oh, there is
The
another one.
where is that?
Oh no, that's the one you were just looking at.
Oh, did you have it up already? Oh.
No. But I saw I'm looking at the run sheet and it said the tax burden property owned. But that's the one you were just looking at. Yeah. So I don't see another one in there related to this.
Oh, it's not coming up. I wanted to click on the Elaine story. Oh, let's see. Here we go.
On the Elaine Brown story?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
okay.
wild looking.
Oh, it's blocked for me. Oh no. It just says she is. Let me share it. I can only show the first part. She is.
Here, I got one here.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
From The Guardian.
Okay, great.
Black Panther. She was in the she led the Black Panthers. Now she's a property developer for Oakland's poorest. The activist Elaine Brown, former chair of the party, is leading an $80 million affordable housing project in West Oakland. The exact same spot on 7th Street where the shootout occurred. Trying to get to where I'm still the same person I was in the Black Panther Party, though maybe more ruthless. Having settled on the 7th Street block between Campbell and Willow Street, she's making the most of past narratives. She's calling the project the Black Panther, and when the complex opens in May, that name will stand proudly in 3 feet high letters above the main entrance. 32,000 square foot project. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of seemingly backstory. So I'm trying to see where they explain. Maybe I'm going too quickly. Where they explain exactly what's happening here.
Oh, wait, it says it there. If you go a little
I'm
bit,
sorry.
go up just a little bit, right there. Yeah, Brown's down there. Yeah. So she bought
Priorities
the
to try to
land. Okay.
resurrect. Okay.
Mm,
By the Oakland and the World Enterprises bought the land for redevelopment. It had been vacant for 30 years. Okay. And is that so? That's what it's going
that's
to
what it's
look
gonna
like.
look like.
Wow. Resurrect some economic vitality of the Harlem of the West by opening spaces for new black-owned businesses. Uh-oh.
Mm,
On the ground floor of the building, there will be restaurant, fitness, and tech centers, as well as a grocery store to help address the local food desert. Okay. I want us black people to have economic power. We live in an environment where we have nothing. Black people don't own anything in America, not a goddamn thing. We're still an oppressed people, but we won't recognize it. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know. I'm not mad at this. But I don't know that this is a path to actual economic power because, again, it's the same problem I keep running into because the people who will be shopping at those stores are black people who are insufficiently paid, have insufficient access to capital and anything other than debt. So I don't know. I don't know how that works. That said, if it's a matter of having black owned property and businesses in a black community serving black people, all to the good. I don't know if that's going to actually lead to real economic power or what she thinks or others think is the extension of this. But one of the reasons people are in prison is because they are poor. They are there for economic crimes. The only way to stop them going back to prison after release is to get them some money and a job. The other focus of the Black Panther will be 79 units of affordable housing that will fill the upper stories. Studios and 1 and 2 bedroom apartments will be offered to very low and extremely low income people with a maximum limit on their earnings set at 30% of the area's median income at about $30,000. So that's the maximum you can be making to live there. With the support from Oakland, City of Oakland in California, all the 79 apartments will be offered at low or extremely low rents. By the way, this is sort of the point. So, I mean, even that, again, requires the political power and support from the city and the state. This is not something that's being driven by a strictly black economic endeavor. But she says no one else in West Oakland or anywhere else in the city has 100% affordable housing. Can you believe that? Brown exclaimed. Of the Black Panther buildings, $80 million cost. About $61 million has come from the state of California, $43 million of which was drawn from a new housing accelerator program designed to fast-track low-cost housing projects struggling for lack of funds. See, again, all I'm seeing is political involvement from the state, driving the state to invest, and I don't see how this drives economic power for black people. But so my thing I personally would have appreciated more if Brown's focus was on her ability to manipulate or impact politically the state, to redistribute resources that we've all helped create to come back to help the poorest. That to me makes more sense than claiming this is about black economic power, or that the solution is economics, when the solution is clearly here, the political redistribution and reorganization of existing resources that we have all already helped to establish. So,
yeah, and she says that there at the bottom. This is not a panacea of any kind. There are thousands of people sleeping on the streets of Oakland every night, and thousands more on somebody's couch or in a car.
yeah. But again, but as I'm interpreting this, she's saying the 79 new affordable homes is not the panacea, but the approach to achieve what she would call economic power, it seems to be what she would say is the answer. And I just
Right, and I agree with you. Yeah, I would love to
But
hear more.
But okay, I mean, not bad considering we just scooped this off of a side story from something else. So, yeah, a lot of this seems to be
More as
about the
her
backdrop.
background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this remains controversial right there too. So, and I got a good Elaine Brown story. I'm gonna have to save that one. That's like a Patreon. Oh, did I mute myself again?
Oh, you're there.
Okay, good. But yeah, I'm gonna have to might have to dig that story out at some point.
Please.
Yeah. Can you
Yeah,
share
it's
the link? Yes, I will
mhm.
share the link in the chat forthwith.
Ooh. We are now at 10 o'clock. Thank you
And we gotta go. Yeah, I gotta
for
go do
joining
this
us.
other show. Thank you
All
very
right.
much, Lucretia. Thanks to the Ear Doctor. Thanks to the remixers. Peace,
Thanks,
everybody. If
y'all.
you're willing to fight for it, come check us out for a discussion of imperfect cinema and see you tomorrow right here on the remix.
Mix.